Hello folks, how are we doing today? Welcome to BullDawg Barbecue. Today we're going to do a review of a Pit Boss Copperhead Series 5 vertical smoker. And then in the next couple of weeks we're probably going to do a video review on the Series 4 smoker. The 5 belongs to Mr. Josh, and the 4 I just got myself. So let's get into this and see how it works out. I'm gonna review this one, and then, like I said, a couple of weeks we'll get the other one. So, welcome to the BullDawg Show, barbecue, not the show, the BullDawg Barbecue. Hey folks, BullDawg here. Welcome to the show. I want to kind of start you out here on a little review that we're going to do. And the thing that we're going to do is probably like over 3 or 4 cooks, and let you know what I think of the Pit Boss vertical smoker. It's the big one. I think they call it the Copperhead series. We do have a cover for it. I borrowed this from a friend of mine, Josh. Everybody's seen on here before. I'll get you down here where you can see it. Remove this cover. I think he gave about $60 for the cover. In case you're curious, I'll look it up and put it in the description below, and also the smoker and the probes that we use. We'll try to get all that down into the description. But it has a 40-pound hopper in the back. You can see, I'll lift it up here. You'll see it later in the video too. This thing is put your pellets in, turn it on, put your meat in, walk away and leave it. Inside it has a water tray at the bottom, just like any other smoker. I don't know if you'll be able to see it with it being so dark out here. I don't have any extra lights. I'm not a, big deal. I don't have a bunch of, where I can afford a bunch of lights. Hopefully we can get this turned around here a little bit where you can see what's going on. It has 5 racks in it, a water tray down at the bottom. Got a heat deflector down here. You turn it on, you prime it a little bit to get pellets into the little, there's a little bowl in there about that big around. Your pellets drop into it and it fires them up out of that. If you are looking for an electric smoker, this is not it. This has an electric igniter on it. That's the only thing electric. It has electric fan and electric igniter. This is not like the one I have over here. I have the charbroil down here at the other end of the porch. It is not like that. That has electrical coils in it that heats up and then heats the chips. This one does not do that. This one actually heats up the pellets, which causes a fire because of the fan blowing, which causes your heat. If the electricity goes out, this thing quits. But that one over there, if the electricity goes out, it quits also. But here's the catch. If that one goes out of chips, it'll still work. It'll still cook your meat. This one runs out of chips, it will throw an error code and it will not cook anything because it does not cook with electricity. It cooks with the pellets. Got to remember that when buying these. If you're looking for something that you just want to, put a little bit of smoke to and you want to cook outside, the electric one's the way to go. If you're wanting something you really want to do right, cook right, smoke right, but you got to use the pellets. You got to. If you don't, it will not work. When you first turn this on, I don't know how it got turned up, but you put it on smoke for about 10 or 15 minutes, let it get rolling good, let it get up to temperature. Then you can turn it to your desired temperature and it'll work just fine, as you're going to see in the videos that we do. It has a nice good latch on it. The windows on these, just like any other smoker, once you're done smoking, if you take it while it's still warm, not scalding hot, but still warm, open it up and spray you some vinegar on it and wipe it down. It will come right off. If you have to, you can always go to like a SOS pad lightly to get it to come off. Best thing I found, like I said, is the vinegar. Spray it down, wipe it off with a paper towel. It comes right off. That way you can see in and see your food. We're going to cover it back up and we'll go back in and get everything started. Like I said, this video is not going to be one consistent video. I'm going to start with a brisket. We did a brisket, a pork tenderloin. We didn't get any of the, we did a beef tenderloin. We didn't get any of the pork tenderloin. So a brisket for Christmas and the beef tenderloin a couple days later. This thing was a champ. The night we cooked the brisket, it got down to 12 degrees outside and snowed. Never missed a beat. Had to turn it up a little higher, you know, because we put it on 250 to get 190. So, and we smoked it all night long and then cranked her up to 350, which turned out to be right at 300 at 17 degrees outside. And the brisket turned out amazing. Couldn't beat it. So, all right, let's get on with the show. All right. We got a full picture here of it, and when we got this thing, it took about 45 minutes to put it together. It does come unassembled, all the bottom of it. You have to put it all together. The back handle, that kind of thing. It's not hard, doesn't take long at all. Like I said, 45 minutes we had it together and ready to smoke. When you first get it, there is instructions in there. Do a burn off, get rid of all the oils and stuff that are in it from shipping. Make sure that if there's any styrofoam or anything like that in your packaging, that it is not inside that unit when you fire it up. There's our brisket before it went in. There it is inside. That brisket went on at 11 o'clock at night. So this will tell you how this thing works. It went on at 11 o'clock at night. It was 12 degrees outside. I took and turned it up to, I believe it was 250, and that got me to 190. After it got stabilized on its temperature, I went in and went to bed. Slept until 7 o'clock the next morning, which is what you're seeing now. That's the brisket that has been wrapped. After I got up, it was at like 150. I wrapped it up, put me a little butter on it, and wrapped it up in butcher paper. And cooked it the rest of the way. I believe it turned it up to 300 so that I could get 250 out of it. At 17 degrees outside, I was still getting, at 250, I was getting 225, 230. There is a difference between down in the box itself. Now, I had like 268 at the bottom, and up near my food I had 230. So that'll tell you there is a difference as you climb up away from the heat. And like I said, this thing is a pellet smoker. It is not an electric smoker. People that are looking for electric, where you just have to have a very few little wood chips or cubes, this is not it, folks. That charbroiler down at the other end of the porch is it. And I got it at 295. It's actually set on 300, so it's 5 degrees below. That was for the beef tenderloin, which turned out freaking amazing. It's got the adjustable top. Like I said, it holds 35 to 40 pounds of pellets in the back. The pellets are the heat. The electric part is not the heat. The electric is to run the fan, the auger, and the igniter. You do not cook with electric. You cook with pellets. This thing is roughly $500. I would recommend it to anyone who really wants to do some smoke. This thing puts 10 times the better smoke on it and the better smoke ring than my charbroiler ever would. This also has low temperature cooking too. Like I think the lowest it goes is like 150. Don't hold me to that, but I think it's like 150. There's our beef tenderloin that we cooked. There was the cold temperature difference. We had 262 at the fire and 249 at the meat. And that was the brisket that I was cooking Christmas Day. Like I said, 12 pounds went like it wasn't nothing. The Thermal Probe Pro, this series, I love this. I got it for Christmas and I love it. It's got 4 on it, probes on it, and then you can see it was 17 degrees out. Highly, highly recommend the Pit Boss Pro series number 5. They had some issues with it when he first got it. He took it down and let's make me a little bigger here. He had an issue with it, I believe, probably about a month after he got it. I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that he wasn't doing what he was supposed to do when they've got things on there where you have to fire these things up a certain way and you have to shut them down a certain way. What they do is when you shut these things down, it still has chips in there that's burning, and if you reach over and unplug it, it turns the fan off and everything, and all that just dies. That fire dies. That leaves chips in it. Then when you go to fire it up, it pours more chips in on top of it. Alright, then you fire it back up, and then all of a sudden you get this great big fire going. The reason you got this great big fire going is because the box was not empty when you went to start it up. You leave it plugged in after you're done cooking, let it burn off all the chips. Once the fan kicks off, then you can unplug it and put everything away. It's not hard to clean. I didn't have too much trouble cleaning it. Matter of fact, I took all the racks out and everything ran through my dishwasher and they cleaned up perfectly. The glass, like I showed a while ago, I found that skip the SOS pad because you don't want to scratch your glass up. I have found the little window scrapers that you use for like scraping something off of your, a little sticker off your car window or something, or paint after you paint. They're a couple of bucks. They work great. Then spray you a little vinegar on there, wash her down. It's good as new. Like I said, I recommend the smoker. I highly recommend it. It does a good job even in cold temperatures. It is a smoker that you can set it on low temperatures and go to bed. I did that. I set it on 190 and went to bed for 7 hours. Woke up and then finished it. So I don't have to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to start a brisket so that I can have it done by 4 o'clock on Christmas Day. This way, I throwed it in the smoker, I went to bed, woke up, and it was done. That part I really liked, because mine you can't do that. Every 2 hours I have to put new chips in it. This one I don't, because it automatically feeds itself. You just have to keep the hopper full. I will tell you that once you fill it with pellets, you have to use that. There is a little door in the back where you can pull the pellets out and change types, but I would recommend not putting any more in there than you need for that cook unless you are planning on using nothing but hickory, and that's it. If you're going to use nothing but hickory, fill the damn thing up. If you're going to cook a brisket today with hickory and then cook fish tomorrow with apple or cherry, then you don't want to fill it up because it's a bear to empty. You have to get in there and scrape all that out. What we found is that we keep a long stick out there and we just put the chips in that we think that we're going to need. Then we take the stick and put it down in the hopper and push it over to the conveyor or to the auger so it'll suck it in there. We can use it up and then change over to a different blend for our next cook. It is on wheels, but if you fill it with 40 pounds of pellets, it's going to be really hard to move. I would recommend, like I said, keeping that hopper empty unless you're planning on cooking for a long time. I cooked a brisket from 11 o'clock at night until 4 o'clock the next day, and it used one 20-pound bag of pellets and still had a little left over. But when you go like we did, we moved it from Josh's house. We put it on the back of the pickup truck and rolled it down here. If that thing had been full of pellets, it would have took 3 of us to move the damn thing. Because they are heavy. They're not light. In this instance, like I said, it was pretty much empty. So 2 of us just threw it up on the truck, brought it down here, pulled it up on the porch, filled it with pellets, plugged it in, and went to work. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that really matters when it comes to this thing. I can't think of anything. If I do, I can always put it in the description or whatever, but like I said, I recommend the smoker, and I'm gonna kick myself, and I'm ready to kick Josh, because now that he's brought it down here and I've cooked on it and I see how well it does, now I have to go buy me one. Now I have to figure out how to come up with the money to buy me one of the damn things, because I can't afford it. Plus I got one out there that is a different type. Like I said, it's electric. This one's not electric, folks. This is a pellet smoker. Remember that when you go buy them. But now I'm going to have to find a way to go buy me one of these. I'd like to look into the Series 7 and see what the difference is between the two, but oh well, I have to figure out how to come up with the money to buy the thing. So, hey, but I do take donations. Y'all want to buy one, send it over here. I'll use the crap out of it. Alright, folks. I think that's about all that we can get into, as much trouble as we can get into. Like I said, you got the $500 plus the 40 some odd dollars for the cover. Hey, run out and get this thing. You can cook for the whole neighborhood. We used it on 4th of July. We cooked like 8 things of ribs in it, 8 or 9 racks of ribs. So if you want to cook a lot and you want it to cook right, get one of these. I don't know that the offset pellet smokers, the ones that have the barrel and then the smoker apparatus on the side, they are so thin-walled that I don't know that that would work in such cold weather. But hey, if that's what you want, go for it. But like I said, for us in the cold weather, we live in a cold weather area. Like I said, the night that we cooked on it, it was 12 degrees and it snowed. So, and it did great. So, hey, Pit Boss, good job for you. Kudos, man. Especially the customer service. They did a great job getting him a new control panel, because he thought that's what it was. And they sent us one, and we put it in a couple of minutes, and it worked just great. So, plus we figured out how to start and stop the thing, which he had not been doing. So we believe we're in good shape now. This thing cooks amazing. Everything that we've cooked this weekend, beef tenderloin, pork tenderloin, and brisket, has all turned out great. So till next time, BullDawg says see ya.